When the power goes out, the first thing you notice is the quiet. The fridge stops, the AC cuts off, all those little background sounds that you stopped hearing years ago, gone all at once. For a second or two, it almost feels nice. Then it hits you. No Wi-Fi. No lights. The stove might not work. Your phone is at 23%. The garage door won't budge. The security system is dark. Whatever's in the freezer just started a clock, and outside, your whole neighborhood is figuring that out at the same time. 15 minutes without power? Annoying. 6 hours. That's a different thing. Entirely. That's when you find out how much of your house doesn't actually work without electricity. Most families don't discover this until the moment they need it most. They think there's a flashlight somewhere. There is, with dead batteries. They figure the phones will hold up. They don't. They assume they can cook, stay warm, stay informed. Then the house stops feeling like a home and starts feeling like a box with no exits. Here's what I've come to believe. You don't need a bunker. You don't need thousands of dollars in gear. You need a few specific things sorted out before the lights go out. That's it. Light? Real light. Not one candle shoved in a kitchen drawer. Not the flashlight you vaguely remember buying 3 years ago. I'm talking about enough light for everyone in the house to move around safely. Check on kids. Find the bathroom. Dig through a cabinet without knocking everything over. Darkness changes a space you've lived in for years. Hallways feel wrong. Stairs are suddenly genuinely dangerous. Even simple tasks get harder when one hand is busy holding a phone up like a torch. Lanterns are better than flashlights for most situations. They light a whole room and leave your hands free. Headlamps are better than both when you're actually doing something. Get a few. Put them somewhere specific. Tell everyone where that is. A flashlight you can't find in the dark isn't an emergency tool. It's just stuff. A way to keep your phone alive. During an outage, your phone isn't entertainment anymore. It's your connection to weather alerts, your family, emergency updates, and help. And the battery drains faster when you're actually using it. A small power bank helps. A bigger portable power station helps more. You can recharge phones, run a small lamp, maybe even keep a router going for a bit if your internet provider still has signal. The catch is that backup power only works if it's actually charged. Most people buy a power bank, throw it in a drawer, and find it dead when they need it. Treat it like food storage. Check it. Keep it ready. If you're in a sunny area and an outage stretches past a day, a solar charger can slowly pull in enough energy to keep communication going. It won't power your house, but it can keep your phone from becoming a paperweight. Stored water. Water and electricity are more connected than people realize. In a lot of places, water keeps flowing during an outage, but not always. Pumps fail. Wells stop immediately without power. Treatment systems can be affected, and there are outages where officials tell you to boil your water at the exact moment your electric stove isn't working. Don't solve this after the fact. Store some water. Keep it somewhere accessible. The amount depends on your household and your climate, but the logic is the same everywhere. When the tap becomes uncertain, stored water buys you time. And time is the whole game during an outage. You need water for drinking, for hygiene, for your pets, for cooking, for medication, sometimes even for flushing. A short outage makes this irrelevant. A long one makes it the most important thing in the house. There's a real difference between starting an outage knowing water is handled and starting one hoping you can figure it out. Food that doesn't need a fridge or a working stove. A full refrigerator feels like security right up until the power dies. Then it's a cooler with a countdown. Every time someone opens the door, you're losing cold air. Every hour, the risk of spoilage goes up. And suddenly, a kitchen full of food isn't as useful as it looked. Emergency food doesn't have to be strange or expensive. Canned meals, peanut butter, crackers, dried fruit, protein bars, shelf-stable soups. This isn't exotic. It's just food that doesn't need refrigeration or a burner. Keep enough of what your family will actually eat, including anything that fits specific dietary needs. A manual can opener is one of those things that feels unnecessary until it isn't. If you use a camping stove or a grill during an outage, and a lot of people do, keep it outside. Carbon monoxide has no smell, no color, and it builds up fast indoors. Don't trade one problem for a worse one, a way to hear what's actually happening. When the power goes out, information stops being ambient. You have to go find it. And usually, The systems you rely on most go down first. Wi-Fi, cell signal, social media, full of guesses and rumors. A battery-powered or hand-crank radio sounds old-fashioned. It is old-fashioned. During a real outage, that's what makes it work. Local radio broadcasts don't care whether your Wi-Fi is. Emergency alerts come through when your phone's signal is overloaded. Also, write down phone number. Not in your phone, on paper. Most people don't know a single number by heart anymore, and a dead phone can lock you out of every contact you need. A short list with family members, a neighbor or two, your doctor, your utility company, and local emergency services can end up being one of the most useful things in your house. Temperature. Mild weather makes an outage uncomfortable. Extreme weather makes it dangerous. In winter, a house loses heat faster than you'd expect. In summer, indoor temperatures can climb to the point where sleeping becomes genuinely difficult, or worse, medically risky for anyone older, very young, or dealing with a health condition. Cold weather, blankets, layers, sleeping bags, draft blockers under doors. Gather people into one room that holds heat best. Close off unused spaces. Cover windows. Hot weather, battery-powered fans, light clothing, cooling towels, shaded windows. And this one matters, knowing in advance where you'd actually go if staying home stops being an option. A library, a relative's place, a cooling center. Have a plan before you need it. This isn't about comfort. It's about keeping the body within a safe range when the systems that normally do that for you are offline. A plan. Supplies don't do much if nobody knows where they are or what to do with them. Without a plan, people waste time making decisions under stress. They debate whether to open the fridge. They search for things in the dark. Nobody knows who checks on the neighbor, who brings in the dog, where everyone goes if communication fails. A good outage plan isn't complicated. It just answers some questions ahead of time. Where are the lights? Where's the water? Which power banks are charged? What gets eaten first? What stays closed? Who in the house has medical equipment? Which neighbors might need help? Where can the family go if staying home stops being safe? And a few habits that help before things go wrong. Keep the car's gas tank above half when bad weather is coming. Know how to open the garage door manually. Use surge protectors on things you'd hate to replace. Keep some cash. If card systems are down, they're down. Check your smoke detector batteries and your carbon monoxide detector while you're thinking about it. An outage reveals how much of daily life runs on invisible systems that work perfectly until they don't. The lights come on. The fridge stays cold. The phone charges. The water flows. The internet loads. Until one day, none of that happens. When it does, the homes that handle it best won't be the ones with the most expensive gear. They'll be the ones where someone thought about this stuff beforehand and made a few simple decisions while there was still time to make them. Light that works. A battery that's charged. Water that's already stored. Food that's ready to eat. A way to hear what's happening. Protection from the temperature outside, a plan that everyone knows. These things feel completely ordinary when the power is on. The moment it goes out, they're everything